Hello, welcome back to Rules of the Apostrophe, Part 2 of the video. The first rule that I would like to review with you is apostrophes that are used to show possession or ownership with single nouns. The apostrophe is used to demonstrate ownership. Now this means that something belongs to or is owned by someone else. So ask yourself when you look at a sentence, who owns it? And this will help you to know which nouns need the apostrophe. So to show possession, you simply use apostrophe S with a single noun. So let's take a look at a couple of examples to clarify this. The first one is Sue's essay was finished before the due date. In this sentence, the essay belonging to Sue, or Sue owns the essay. So therefore, the apostrophe S is placed after the noun Sue. In the next example, Bob's new car clearly needs major repairs. Ask yourself, who owns the car? The answer is Bob. So the apostrophe S is placed after the noun Bob. So it's Bob's new car. So the rule is that an apostrophe plus an S is used to demonstrate possession or ownership, even with a singular noun that already ends in an S. Let's take a look at that one, this rule. Here's some examples. Doris's dress cost her over $100. If you look carefully at this example, the name Doris already ends in an S. So to make it possessive, you would add the apostrophe S to the end of her name. So it would be D-O-R-I-S apostrophe S for the possession. The next example, the boss's new office is on the top floor of the office tower. Boss already ends in an S. So to make it possessive, you would add an apostrophe S. So it's B-O-S-S, and then you'd add the apostrophe S. Let's look at the next rule of apostrophes with plurals that end in an S. When you have a plural noun that ends in an S, you simply use an apostrophe to show possession. Let's look at these examples. The first one, only one student's answer was correct on the math quiz. Now, if you're just looking at one student and it's singular, you simply add the apostrophe S. However, if you're looking at more than one student, like all the students' answers were correct, and in this sentence the students' answers were all correct, so the teacher praised the entire class, so it's all the students, plural noun, you would write the noun students, which is the plural noun, and then you would add the apostrophe at the end. Let's look at another example to clarify this rule. The first one, the manager ignored the employee's complaint, although she had brought this matter up several times before. If you're looking at the singular noun, employee, and it's the complaint of one employee, you simply add the apostrophe S to show the possession. But in this second example, the manager ignored all of his employees' complaints, and now they were planning a strike. You're looking at more than one employee, so you've got the plural noun employees, so then you would add the apostrophe after the S to show the plural, showing all the complaints of the employees. So let's make this rule easier. And I'm going to give you some pointers to show you how you add the apostrophe appropriately. First, you're going to find out which noun in the sentence indicates possession or ownership. That's called the owner word. Next, you will decide whether the noun is singular or plural. And third, you're going to apply the correct rule for the apostrophe, because it can get tricky with different rules of the apostrophe and how to use it appropriately. Let's take a look at another example. The teacher's class was very quiet when she left the room for a few minutes. It's one teacher. So you've got the noun teacher, one teacher, and if you want to show ownership, her class, you simply add the apostrophe S. Sorry, that's an apostrophe. Teachers, apostrophe S. In the second example, the teachers' mailboxes were in alphabetical order in the main office of the school. You're looking at more than one teacher. In this case, it's all the teachers in the school. So you've got the plural already, teachers. So to show the possession, you're going to add the apostrophe at the end of the word. And one other rule to note over here, sometimes when you add the apostrophe S to indicate ownership, the word that results may end, that should be end, in a double or even a triple S. In this case, you may either delete or keep the final S, leaving the apostrophe in place. Both these methods are correct. Let me show you with a couple of examples. The first grouping. Although the players' scores have been posted on, all the players' scores have been posted on the board in the gym. So you've got the plural players, there's more than one. So their scores, more than one, it's S apostrophe. Another correct way to do it would be players is already plural, and you could add the apostrophe and then another S. Both are fine. This one's probably easier, just adding the one apostrophe after the S. This next group of sentence, the students' report cards all had to be signed by the principal of the school. The plural here is students, so you could simply add the apostrophe, or you could do students, add the apostrophe, and then add another S. Again, both are fine, whichever method you prefer. This one's probably easier, just taking the plural and adding the apostrophe S. The next rule that I'd like to look at is called apostrophes versus simple plurals. Let me please read the rules and give you some examples to clarify. You never use an apostrophe to make a word plural, and writers often get confused with this rule. The plural of most nouns is formed by simply adding an S and not the apostrophe S. But to demonstrate possession, an apostrophe is needed. It is a common error of writers to confuse these two, the possessive and the plural form of nouns. So let's look at some examples that I've outlined for you. This list is the simple plural of nouns, and this is the apostrophes and the possessive form. So a simple plural would be 3 boys are in the class. The noun is plural, boys, and there's no possession, there's no ownership, it's a simple noun. But if you wanted to use the apostrophe and turn it into possession, you would say the boy's jersey was hanging in the locker room. That's one boy, apostrophe S. Or if it's more than one boy, it's many boys, you'd write the plural boys, and then you'd say the boy's jersey, so you'd add the S at the end. Another example, our managers are at the meeting. That's just a simple plural, no apostrophe. It's the subject of the sentence. You're just talking about more than one manager. But if you want to turn it into the possessive form, our manager's office is on the 5th floor. That would be one manager, apostrophe S. But if you're looking at all the offices belonging to the managers, and it's the possessive form because it's the offices belonging to the managers, it's more than one, you'd put managers, the plural, and then you add the apostrophe to the end. And then the last example is the doctors had different views. This is just a simple plural noun, doctors, no apostrophe, there's no ownership. But to show ownership, the first one is one doctor. The doctor's office was full today, so you just take the simple noun, doctor, and it's his office, so the apostrophe S. But if you're looking at more than one doctor in possession, the two doctors' opinions differed, it's more than one, so you would take the plural, the doctors, and it's the opinions belonging to the doctors, so the apostrophe goes at the S. So if you add an apostrophe and an S, you are signaling to your reader that the word is either a possessive noun or a contraction. So I've given you a sentence that I would like to look at closely, and what I want to do is analyze the words in the sentence and try to figure out where you put the apostrophe. So the sentence reads, Jean's geography notebook is covered with scribbles and pictures. Let's analyze the sentence. One word that ends in S is scribbles, but you would not put an apostrophe on this word. It's a simple plural noun. It means more than one scribble. Pictures ends in an S, and that is also a simple plural noun, meaning more than one picture, so you would not use an apostrophe. Is, yes, it ends in an S, but is a verb, and you never use an apostrophe with a verb. So the question that you're going to ask yourself would be, which word shows ownership? And your answer is, Jean owns the notebook. Therefore, the apostrophe is added to the noun Jean to show possession. So your answer would be, Jean's, meaning belonging to Jean's, geography notebook is covered with scribbles and pictures. And now I'd like to outline a few other uses of the apostrophe. The first one other use of the apostrophe is when two or more nouns are used to demonstrate joint ownership. That means there are two owners. The apostrophe goes with the last noun to show possession. And this rule also applies to first names and to the names of organizations. So please let's look at a quick example. In this one, Susan and Bob's condominium was given to them as a wedding gift. You can tell from this sentence that Susan and Bob are joint owners. They were given a condo and they're joint owners. So because of that, you put the apostrophe after the second noun. So you would put Susan and Bob's, apostrophe S. In the second example, Maine Drug Mart's sale was amazing for shoppers over 65. It's the name of the company, so it's the Drug Mart's sale, the sale belonging to Maine Drug Mart. Another example here is if the nouns are used to show separate ownership. So we were showing joint ownership before, but if it's separate ownership, then you have to use an apostrophe with each noun. Let's take a look at these examples. Susan's and Melody's rooms were painted separate colors. It's clear from that sentence that each of these girls has her own room. So therefore, it's Susan's apostrophe S and Melody's apostrophe S. In this second example, Bob's and Bill's scores were posted on the bulletin board in the main office. They each one has his own score that's posted. So therefore, it's Bob's apostrophe S and Bill's apostrophe S. Okay. Another use of the apostrophe is in compound nouns. Now, a compound noun is a noun which is composed of more than one word. And if that's the case, the apostrophe is added to the last part of the noun to show possession. In this first example, sister-in-laws, you'd put the apostrophe after the last noun, the apostrophe S. Jack in the boxes, at the end of the last noun, apostrophe S. Now, I've written 3 sentences for you to clarify this rule. The first one, we were invited to my mother-in-law's house for Christmas dinner last year. So mother-in-law's, you would put the apostrophe at the end of the third word, the final word, apostrophe S. The master of ceremonies opening speech at the wedding was very moving. So you would put the apostrophe on the last noun, apostrophe S, and my sister-in-law's car is in the repair shop for the week. It would be sister-in-law's apostrophe S. The apostrophe is always added to the last part of the noun in a compound noun. Another rule, part C here, is to use an apostrophe and an S to form the possessive form of indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns are words such as one, somebody, anybody. These are called indefinite pronouns. And if you're not sure about indefinite pronouns, I do have a video on different types of pronouns. Please feel free to refer to that, and I do give you a list of indefinite pronouns. One's beliefs or somebody else's. This is somebody else's book. So I've given you 2 sample question answers. The coach said it was anybody's game to win. Anybody would be apostrophe S, Or someone's coat was left in the parking lot of the building. Someone's would be apostrophe S. Please remember, though, that you never add an apostrophe to form the possessive of a personal pronoun. And this was referred to in part 1 of my apostrophes video. Ours, yours, that should be yours, sorry, Y-O-U-R-S. Ours, yours, his, hers, its, theirs. You would not use an apostrophe with those possessive personal pronouns. They're already possessive. And the last group of rules are their special uses of apostrophes that I've included. An apostrophe is used in expressions of time and amount. This first example, I asked my boss for a month's vacation. So you'd use the apostrophe S. You should give your employer 3 weeks notice before you are planning to leave your job. It's more than 1 week, so it's the S apostrophe. Next. An apostrophe is used to pluralize letters, numbers, and signs. Let's look at these examples. All of the level 3s were missing from the assembly today, so it would be apostrophe S. With all letters of the alphabet, did you get all Ds, it'd be apostrophe S, this past semester, or did you fail your courses? Sesame Street taught the little girl all her ABCs. So you put the A, the B, the C, and then the apostrophe S. Bertie has a problem pronouncing his R's and his M's. So letters of the alphabet again, or you would use the apostrophe S. You have included too many ands in your written presentation, or you've included too many buts in your essay, would be apostrophe S. And your 7s have not been written very clearly. So numbers, you would use the apostrophe S. And another rule that I'd like to point out of the apostrophe is an apostrophe is used to show the omission of numbers. So when you omit a number. We attended our school reunion for the class of 82. What you mean is 1982. Or I fondly remember the summer of 94. What you mean is the summer of 1994. So you've omitted some numbers, so you would use the apostrophe. So please remember that it is really important to try to remember all these different rules of the apostrophe, as using the apostrophe properly will help your reader to understand what you mean. So feel free to go back and review these rules. I know there are many that I've included. And if you do have any questions, I would love to hear from you, and please contact me within my website, InTheEnglishCorner.com. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye-bye.